Hi, this is James. Just a short presentation. I was going to do a big unboxing video. I did do a big unboxing video, but my camera decided it was going to eat my video. So we're doing a post-unboxing video for this particular component. As has been mentioned, we are upgrading our solar some more. We've picked up a 5 kilowatt hour battery and an inverter, 3000 watt, 3 kilowatt inverter from Signature Solar. We picked this up on a Black Friday sale, so we did get a small discount on it, but they're quite reasonably priced. This is a configuration that we're aiming to expand on. We'll be using this as the basis for our core solar rig moving forward. But just wanted to quickly show you the components. These are also available in full strip downs on Will Prowse's video channel, DIY Solar with Will Prowse on YouTube, which is highly recommended if you're new to solar, you just want to learn things related to solar in general. Will's channel is just totally invaluable, and the forums that are associated with it as well. So if you're like me, you're nervous, you're new to this, it's a good basis for learning how all this stuff works. So without going into too much preamble, the goods that we ordered arrived safely from Signature Solar. One advantage of going with the EG4 matched with an EG4 battery is you get an extra couple of years warranty on your inverter, 5 years on this inverter. So that's just something to consider when you're matching lemons with lemons or oranges with oranges. The unit itself, as you can see here, is 48 volt 3000 EHV. The purchase price for this one, we paid $750. I think the standard retail is a little bit more than that, but it's quite a reasonably priced unit. It's 3000 watts of output. It'll accommodate 5000 watts of surge, so if you do have a lot of devices that happen to be suddenly concurrently pulling something, as long as it's not going to exceed 5000 watts for a very short period, you should be good. But 3000 watts is basically what we opted for to start with. Signature Solar do have more powerful EG4 units, inverters, 6000, 6500 and a new 8000 watt unit, but for our requirements 3000 watts is more than adequate. And these can be daisy chained, so you can actually run them, I think up to 9 units, could be 12, could be wrong on that one, to basically give you more power if you really want to, or if you need to. The key components of this, as you know, we have an EcoFlow Delta Pro, which is currently providing power in our RV. It's been working beautifully, fantastic unit, totally awesome, love it, but there are some limitations. We have a 1600 watt solar array at the moment. A couple more panels, we'll be building that out to 2000 watts potentially, or repurposing some of those to just go straight into the Delta Pro. Not sure yet. But the bottom line is that we have a 15 amp limitation on the Delta Pro, which means technically our 1600 watts is actually only 1200 watts. We're losing 25% capacity. So this is a mechanism to get us around that and allow us to expand this moving forwards. The other limitation on the Delta Pro is that it has 150 volts. So if you have your panels connected, say for example you had some 300 or 400 watt panels, they could be up to 50 volts each. So you can only have 2 or 3 of those in a series, which is fine. I mean, that's actually pretty good. But this particular unit here, you'll see it's rated at 500 VDC, 500 volts. So you can have a fairly substantial number of panels attached to this. Using that example, assuming that a panel has 50 volts, you could run serially, you could run up to 10-ish, 9 or 10 panels in a series. If those panels are 400 watts, you can generate quite a lot of power. So that's 4,000 watts potentially there in just a single series. And bear in mind also that series add voltage, but they don't add amps. So you can easily daisy chain this as well to the 80 amp capacity that we have on this particular unit. So in theory, as long as your math all adds up, give or take a little bit of leeway with these numbers, you can have quite a substantial array attached to just this one inverter. And this is a baby inverter, so the sky's the limit. subject to dollars and cents, of course. So fairly substantial unit. Very happy to be able to put this into our we'll start off our core solar rig, and we'll basically be operating with that. So what comes in the box? Well, I've already unboxed the items, so let's have a look. Like I said, this is $750. So you would think, you know, it's a budget model. It's really not. A couple of things that do come with it that are additional bonuses. It comes with a Wi-Fi dongle. So the Wi-Fi adapter allows you to basically connect this to your internet, your home internet, and there's an application you can download and configure that means you can monitor this in real time. That is very useful. We use the EcoFlow Delta Pro remote monitoring all the time. So being able to not have to leave our camper or house and be able to see what's happening on our systems and manage it, very, very useful capability. So that comes with the unit. With other larger units, I believe you have to purchase that as a separate add-on. So that's a value add as far as I'm concerned. Some cables, of course, communication cables. This thing does need to be connected to the battery itself so that it can actually manage the battery through the BMS, the battery management system. So you need cables to do that as well. One thing I will point out is that if you do have a daisy chain of these batteries, as long as they're all the same type, you don't need to have one cable per battery going out. These things will basically talk to each other and communicate back to the inverter. So cables are always useful. This thing did come with another cable. I'm not sure what this one is. This actually could be for the kit here. It's possible. I think that's probably the case. I think that's actually the talk to the wireless dongle cable. I have to look at these and work them all out before I put it together. One thing that it also comes with, and this is another value add, is it comes with battery cables. So don't make the mistake I made when I looked at a larger unit and added it to my cart, which I did do this is a mistake. It did not come with the battery cables, so therefore I ordered a set of battery cables. Comes with a bus bar and a breaker as well. So value add, these things are not cheap. These are like $70–80 right out of the gate. So definitely good to have them. I'm not concerned that I got an extra set of battery cables because, hey, battery cables are battery cables. Always you sort of have extras, right? But if you are trying to save some dollars, read the descriptions carefully before you push that shiny purchase now button. All good though, so this means that I don't need to worry about battery cables to connect to this. They all come with the unit. Good to go. And the last thing, of course, is the actual unit itself. So this is the baby unit. I think this is about 35 pounds off the top of my head. Let me just stand this up on end. It has a flange at the bottom or screw hole at the bottom to allow you to connect it to the wall, but it has two at the top, so you can easily attach this and affix this to a wall. And as I said, you can actually parallel these, daisy chain them, as long as you leave a reasonable gap between them for air, because it does have cooling on both sides of the unit as well as the bottom. Nice pretty yellow unit. You're not going to miss this. It sticks out. The other units, I believe, from EG4 tend to be a more passive white with some swanky logos, so that's all fine and cool. LCD panel here, which allows you to move up and down through the different controls. Obviously this is not powered, so I can't do this right at the moment. But it's self-contained, does the job. At the bottom here is where all the fun stuff happens. It has a varying number of holes. I'll need to pull this apart to do this, but basically it allows you to have AC in, AC out, and PV in. PV being photovoltaics, which is your solar panels. So AC in, we will be using, that is AC in, yep. We'll be using the AC in to put a cable on this so we can attach our gas generator. Some people may use a standby generator, so I guess you could connect this to to the appropriate transfer switch and allow it to operate from there. Or if your generator has a built-in transfer switch, presumably it's directly to the generator. I have no experience with that, so, but I'm assuming that that is how that will work. We'll be using this just as a standard, effectively an extension cord to connect to our generator and allow us to put power through this as if we were on shore power, which we are not. AC out, we will be using this to basically provide power to our EcoFlow Delta Pro. Our Delta Pro has a 30 amp plug built into it, which is why we went with the EcoFlow. The Blue Eddy unfortunately is 25 amps max, so it's a true 30 amp. At the moment, all of our power is going to our EcoFlow Delta Pro. That's all going to get rerouted to this. So the question then is, how do we keep the EcoFlow powered up? We have some extra panels that we may or may not put onto the EcoFlow. We'll see how that actually works over time. But the plan at the moment is to effectively use this configuration as the core battery bank. And I think I talked about this in one of my rambles, where we're planning to effectively set up nodes once our children move down. They can have their own version of this effectively in each of their cabins, but we will have a larger rig here in the machine shed, which will be connected to a much larger solar array, which effectively provides a backup battery bank or shore power to all of the nodes. And so in this particular model, the EcoFlow Delta Pro will be a node, and it will pull power from this. We'll see how that works out. It's a bit of an experiment. And the other connector here is the PVN, which is the connections to your solar. So yeah, so there's that. Battery connections, on-off switch, communication ports, dip switches for various things, and ground and reset button. So it's pretty compact. Like I said, it's about 35 pounds, I would say, no more than 40. The larger units can be quite heavy, 80 pounds or more. Yeah, really good purchase all up, as far as I'm concerned. I'll talk about the battery in another video when we do an actual, hopefully actual unboxing of that one, and you'll get to see how well I do not handle tape on boxes in the public arena. But the overall cost of this configuration, I think Will Prowse has a video on his channel where he's talking about Delta Pro alternatives, and he does actually present this as the minimum bare bones configuration. Take this, use the cables to wire it up to the battery, boom far. You pretty much have a 5 kilowatt hour Delta Pro, sort of. A little more to it than that, but it is pretty much the absolute basics. But yeah, $750 for this, and $1,500 for the battery. So math-wise, add some shipping. You know, we had change out of $3,000 for both of these. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting these up and running, and hopefully it all works the way that we expect it to. Otherwise, we'll be learning some more lessons. Anyway, hope that was useful to you. That's the stuff that we're using, and more on this as we move into actually connecting it. Take care, have a great day.